Hello everybody. Well, I read a book. It's called, I cannot even remember it, Manage Your Day to Day, Build Your Routine, Find Your Focus, and Sharpen Your Creative Mind. They say the longer the title, the better the book. I don't know, tell me what you think. But I just have some insights from this book and I would like to share them with you that until now click in my mind when I realize that I'm losing my productivity. Don't worry, they don't include some hustling or trying to work yourself to death. I just think that they're very useful to keep in your mind and to extract some of these insights from your mind when it's necessary. So in this video, I say a lot the word work, but I don't necessarily mean the 9-to-5 job or anything like that. It is basically any activity that is very valuable and important for you that you want to master. The first productivity tip that I got from this book is that you need to put off all your administrative work until you finish working creatively. We all know at this point that creative work do not only include like creating a poem or dancing tango, I don't know. It's also include every piece of activity that uses our imagination. Includes some problem solving, some finding the great solution, or even planning. The majority of us are most productive in the morning. So morning is our go-to time to do some creative, very important for us work. So we need to understand that our best hours cannot go to just administrative work or to just washing the dishes. These hours are very important for us to stay focused, to stay productive. So the first thing in the morning, when your mind is rested and ready to work, it's better to spend those hours on some creativity. Because if you decide to check your emails from the very morning, you can risk all the ideas that can come to your mind during these most productive hours. So be sure you do all your most important creative work in the morning. Earl Buck, I have no idea who this is, but probably a very smart guy. He says that I'm not waiting for the mood for work. If you want to wait for the mood, you will probably not achieve anything. Your brain has to understand when it has to work. And I do like this idea to be the owner of your life, the owner of your brain. Yeah, sometimes it is necessary to make a pause. Maybe you are just too burnt out or tired of work. It is necessary to wait for the right mood, like energy, to continue working. But if you are just procrastinating or being lazy, sometimes it is clear for yourself what exactly is going on in your mind. It is a good idea not to let yourself wait for this mood or justify you not working just because you don't have a mood. Let me give you a secret. You'll not always have the mood, but sometimes you need to just make this first effort and then you get into the mood. There's also one more thing that I really like to understand, that motivation doesn't always come externally from some inspirational photos or reels in Instagram, I don't know, but more often it's the action itself that brings you that motivation to continue working. So if you are waiting for the mood, you probably are just wasting your time. Your brain has to understand when it has to work.
Эй, так, не играемся, друзья мои. Сейчас дам тебе, рыжий.
Anthony Trollope says that working just a little bit every day is more effective and can bring you more success than making a titanic effort occasionally. I don't know what you think about that, but for me this sounds very inspiring because I understand that today I can work for a few hours, tomorrow I can work only for 15 minutes. But the thing that matters is that I do this consistently every day. I know for some people this might sound weird. How come I should work every day, no days off? And at first I thought the same too. Like, why would I sacrifice my day off for the sake of that habit of working? In the end, I decided that it's more optimal for me than 5 days a week grind. It is even more convenient to work a little bit every day because first of all, it brings me to the goal faster. But second of all, every single day doesn't seem like I'm a squeezed lemon in the end of the day. Also, a big plus to that is that when you work every day, you stop worrying about deadlines. Because we as people, we tend to postpone things, and even if it's time for us to work, We don't always work to the limit of our potential, but tomorrow can be the day when we can work to the limit of our potential, and not to miss that perfect day for our brain. It is very nice, I think, to work every single day, even if it's just a little bit. You know, probably the rule about 5 minutes, like 5-minute rule or something, that if you don't want to work, if you feel it's difficult, just start. Work for 5 minutes. And if you don't work anymore after this 5 minutes pass, okay, just stop working. But it is more probably that you will have motivation to continue doing what you're doing. So doing a little bit every day is for me more motivating than putting a lot of efforts just 3 times a week. This is why I do yoga every day and not go to the gym 3 times a week, because when you do something every single day, the next day you don't question yourself whether or not you should do that. It's just part of your identity. You do something every day. But when you do something, let's say 3 times a week, let's say today you go to the gym, but next 2 days you skip it, the next day it will be harder for you to motivate yourself to go to the gym, because yesterday you didn't go and your mind, your body remembers that yesterday you didn't go to the gym. So it may want this day, when you usually have to go to the gym, also skip it. But if you do this every day, you won't have this problem. If you like the written version of these insights that I had, I have them also at my Patreon page, so if you're interested, you can join. Number 4, Aristotle, you probably know this guy. A person is created by her activities, and any skill is basically a habit. Yeah, and being creative is a habit. Everything is a habit. If you do something, well, certain or not certain, but just big amount of time, you become skilled in this thing. And it is so much easier to make work your habit, not to constantly make effort to start working. You know what I mean? Because when you have a habit, you give a lot less effort to starting some activity or to maintaining doing it every day. This becomes a part of you and you become skilled in it. And the same goes for work. If you work at the same time in the same environment, you become skilled in being able to work whenever you want to, not when you have the mood or you have a special time or when the boss tells you. The tip number 5 from this book is that we need to look at the science and realize that sleep is more important than food. A person is able to work a week without food. This person can just lose a little bit of weight. But try not to sleep for 2 days and your productivity will be at the 0 level. Nevertheless, we firmly believe that if we just sleep less and devote more time to work, we will be more productive and be able to do more. Well, we need to realize that sleep is more important even than food, and that even just a little bit of lack of your sleep can lead to decrease in your productivity and in your cognitive abilities. Sometimes we neglect it. I can neglect my sleep when I scroll something in the evening, but it's very important to stop yourself and understand that if you don't go to bed right now, if you don't sleep at least 8 hours right now, for the same amount of time, you will be able to do less than if you just slept enough. Using all those tips, you can basically do more stuff for the less time if you just didn't follow just simple hacks for your brain. If you're interested in this topic and you would like to see the second part of this video where I share even more tips on productivity taken from this book, you can check it at my Patreon page. I share their vlog or Q&A or a life update, other goodness for my lovely patrons. So if you're interested, I recommend you to check it out. The basic level is only $5 a month and you will receive all the additional videos that I make monthly.